Taking a look at today's equity index futures markets, let's check in on the NASDAQ futures as they're realizing a nice move higher here today. After some selling pressure in the previous session, we are seeing them bouncing back nicely in this session, up over 1% currently. And looking at the December future, right around 15,515 in the futures market, just off the highs of the session. We did see the futures a little higher intraday, but still holding at the top end of the range for the session. And I think when you look at some of the reasons why we're seeing some renewed optimism, number one, earnings expectations. We did get a couple of one-offs late last week as far as the tech names and not maybe living up to what the expectations were. But overall, the general trends for earnings have been pretty positive here as we're moving in now to a big week for earnings, highlighted by some of the big names in the tech world, and that will certainly have an impact on the NASDAQ futures. And to this point, it looks like it's positive to the degree that the expectations are shifting towards some positive earnings expectations. Couple that with, I think, some of the seasonality within the market. We are now in the last week of October. The market has recovered nicely through the month of October, so it does feel like we're continuing to see some bids coming in when the market is digesting a lot of the narratives as we move towards the end of October. Looking at the trends, NASDAQ, as I mentioned, having a nice session up over 1%. Russell futures were the best performer of the four majors today, and they're up about 110 basis points, or a little over 1.1% today. And the S&P futures bouncing nicely today after some selling pressure in the previous session, holding up about 40 basis points. And the Dow futures are up about 10 basis points. But the interesting thing about the S&P futures and the Dow futures, even though they weren't the significant performers today, both of them are now going to new all-time closing highs when you look at the futures markets for both the S&P 500 and the Dow futures.